podcast, and I'm Greg, the Introverted Networker. This week, I'm going to be sharing a few tips and tricks that I found on LinkedIn, a couple of things of how to use LinkedIn, and another thing I found on LinkedIn that I thought was pretty cool for networking conversations. I am consistently on LinkedIn. I post every day at 6 a.m. I regularly check in during the day. I comment on other people's posts. I'm probably on there more than most people, I would say. I do confine most of my activity to the early morning, and so I do have a day job. So I spend most of my day job working on that day job, and some of my free time on LinkedIn. But from time to time, when I'm on LinkedIn, I'll see something cool that I haven't seen before. And it's usually somebody I follow or I'm connected with will share a post, share a tip, share a trick. And I want to share those with my subscribers, with my readers, with my listeners. I want to make sure that you're getting the benefit of some of this cool stuff that's out there, because in some cases, these things are kind of hard to find. Not everybody knows about these, and they're a little bit of a secret tip or trick. And I want to make sure that you're taking advantage of those to give you an advantage over everybody else who's out there. And so today I'm going to actually walk through these. I'm going to go through the posts that I found them on. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I would use them, just to give you a little bit of a sense of how you could use them. And as I said, the first two are actual tools through LinkedIn that can help you either find people to follow or find people to connect with, or how you could improve your LinkedIn profile to get a job that you're looking for. The last one is something that can help you in a networking conversation when you are helping somebody else and they turn around and are going to help you, or you're hoping that they help you. It's a phrase, it's an actual sentence that you can say after you've helped somebody to tee up their willingness to reciprocate. So I'm going to walk through that a little bit. But first one comes to us from a guy I follow. His name's Patrick Ma, and he writes mostly about AI and about business and some other stuff. And he posted this past week about how to find people who are talking about things you're interested in on LinkedIn. So he had this post, and he effectively tells you to go to your search box and type in something that you're interested in. So let's just say he used the example of hiring. So let's say you're interested in people who are talking about hiring. So if you type that into the search bar, that term, you get some different options. And so people asked is questions that somebody's asked about hiring. Just adds in the keyword, and you can scroll down and find other people who you already follow or connected with that are talking about it. But that's not really what caught my eye, because I could click on people who are talking about hiring, and it's going to bring up people with a lot of followers who are talking about the hashtag hiring. But what I thought about this is, what if you put the company that you were interested in, and let's say you're interested in Tesla. So you type in Tesla and you hit search, and then you come over here, let it load, and it says people who talk about Tesla. And if you come down here, click on it, now you're getting people. This looks like somebody who's a recruiter at Tesla, and another recruiter at Tesla, and some more. And you could start to follow these recruiters, or they may not be recruiters, but they might be somebody who works there and talks about it. And of course, you're going to want to click on these profiles and see if there are people who are posting a lot and creating things that you could engage with. But this would be a really good way to go through your target companies, go to your target company list, and search each one of those companies and see if there are people who have that either hashtag, and you can follow them. Now, some of your companies may not be big like Tesla, and so somebody may not have the hashtag there. So you might have to get into the industry. So let's say you're into software engineering or something, and you search that. You still can kind of come and click on this hashtag for people who talk about software engineering. And it's going to give you some people to follow. Of course, the people with a lot of followers, you can follow them. It might be kind of hard to engage with them, but you can keep scrolling down and going until you find, somebody who's interesting, talking about what you're interested in. And this is a good way to follow and then go to their posts and comment on their posts. And who knows, you could connect with them and strike up a relationship with them. So that's number one, just simply using the LinkedIn search functionality in order to search what you're looking for, but not just jobs or people, but people who are talking about it, so you know what posts you could comment on. So that's number one. Number two comes to us from a gentleman named Kevin D. Turner. He is really active on LinkedIn. He talks a lot about LinkedIn. He follows LinkedIn and tries to, keep up with what the changes are. And he has a YouTube channel. He has all sorts of stuff. So if you don't follow him and you're interested in LinkedIn, I would highly recommend that. He did point out this cool feature that's actually a hidden feature on LinkedIn, or at least it's hard to find. And he has a YouTube video here. You could certainly click on it and go to that. But he talks about LinkedIn's career pivot tool. It's actually called Career Explorer. And you don't actually get to it from the LinkedIn homepage. You have to type in a certain URL. And it's in his YouTube homepage, and I'm going to link it here for you all. But you go to linkedin.github.io/career-explorer/. And what this does is it brings up this tool that allows you to look at the job you have right now and see what the next job might be for you, or other related jobs, and what skills you might need to move into that job. So if you're thinking about the job you're in and you think, well, I know what the next level is, this will tell you based on LinkedIn profiles and how the jobs have changed, people's profiles have changed over time. It tells you what skills they have in their profiles. So it looks at your profile and says, here's the skills you have. And then it looks at their profiles and says, here's the skills you need. So there's a couple cool things you can do here. First, you pick your metropolitan area. I'm going to put Denver in here because that's where I am. And I'm going to pick operations. Just it's a nice broad category. So if you type in operations and you say, okay, the job that I'm in, I'm a business operations manager. So these titles, one of the things Kevin says in his video is you should use these titles. If you're a business operations manager, but you call yourself like director of operations success or some different title there that's unique, you want to start using this job title in your LinkedIn profile, in your LinkedIn headline, maybe your title, because these are titles that recruiters will search for. So you go ahead and look for, say, I'm a business operations manager. And these are the skills that a business operation manager has, according to LinkedIn. This is what people who have this title have on their profile in terms of skills. But then if you say, I want to be a director of business operations, it says mostly people who go from business operations manager go to director of business operations. It's a 91% match. Popularity indicates, how frequently somebody goes from the manager to the director. So it's very common. But then it tells you these are the skills you need to build. These are skills you need to either have on your profile or ones you need to build in order to move into this role. And so you can go look for jobs here, and it's going to look for director of business operations in your city that you put in. But I actually thought it was more interesting to click on Find Connections. And the reason why I would click Find Connections is because if I'm a business operations manager and I'm moving in and I want to become a business operations director, why not go talk to people who have already done this? Why not connect with these people who it brings up, who are already doing this job, and reach out and connect or see if they post and engage with their posts and try to get a few minutes to say, hey, I see you move to this director role. I would love to ask you one question. What do you think is the thing that made you able to be successful in this role? Or what do you contribute your success to? Or something like that. Something to basically say, hey, how did you become what you are in terms of business operations? And connecting with people like that can often help you figure out a path And you never know. I mean, they might know of opportunities. Frequently, people who have this title might be getting pinged by recruiters who are saying, "Hey, are you interested in business ops over here?" And they say, "No, I'm fine." But they might say, "But I've talked to this person who's ready to make this move in. You should go talk to this business operations manager." So another good way to find people to connect with that are doing the thing that you want to do. So that's the first two. I would say the third one, which was less about a LinkedIn tool and more about a LinkedIn post I saw, um, was from Robert Cialdini. And if you don't know who Robert Cialdini is, he is the author of the book Influence. And he talks about the principles of persuasion. So, really well known author, does a lot of research in this area. And what he posted this week was all about when you do something for somebody and they say thank you, what do you do next? And so he put together a whole carousel on this, and he basically said, when you do something for somebody, and they go, "Wow, thanks, that was so awesome. I'm thank you so much for helping me." There's a specific thing you should say in response. And the reason why he says you should do this is it sets it up so that the other person feels compelled to reciprocate in the future. Okay, so he says how to answer a thank you and to get a yes in the future. So he sets up this whole carousel, and I'm going to link to the post here. But what you find out is you don't want to just say something like, "Oh, it was nothing," because then you're minimizing what you did for them. And you also don't want to say like, "Hey, yeah, now you really owe me one," because that kind of puts a lot of pressure on them, and they're maybe not going to be too receptive to that. But what you want to say is, "I was glad to do it. If the situation were ever reversed, I know you'd do the same for me." And in this carousel, Cialdini talks about why you say it like that, because it's future focused. You would do the same for me. It's setting them up in the future so that when you're in a place where you need help, they feel like, yeah, I would do the same for Greg. He helped me out. But it's interesting because it's very specific and there's a very deliberate way to deliver this. And these are the kind of things you actually need to practice. I know it sounds ridiculous to practice this one sentence, but you actually need to practice saying it, maybe in a low risk situation with your family or your friends. But you need to hear the words come out of your mouth this way. And this kind of is the same as last week when I was talking about answering the question, "What do you do?" And that there's a very specific formula about how you answer that question. There's also a specific way to say this. And the language is powerful here. It really changes the situation. So I saw that. I thought that was great. I can imagine being in a networking conversation and I had given something of value to my connection and they were like, "Oh my gosh, that was so great. Thank you so much." And I would say, "I was glad to do it. If the situation were ever reversed, I know you'd do the same for me," and leave it at that. And now you're ready for them to offer to help, to say, "How can I help you?" Or to come back later. Or if you actually have something you need to ask them, you come back to them and say, "Hey, I know we were talking about this last time I helped you out. I could really use some help. Would you be willing to help me with this?" But those are three things that I found this week. I wanted to share with you 2 LinkedIn tools that will help you find people to follow and comment or to connect with for your job search or your career progress. And then this one very specific trick in terms of language, I guess it's not a trick, but a technique that you can use to set yourself up to get help after you've helped somebody. Again, I'm Greg, the Introverted Networker. I hope you have a great week connecting out there. Be sure to subscribe to this, subscribe to the newsletter, and good luck out there. Always be connecting.